Hello Year 8. Today we are starting an important section of work that is on parallel lines. So when you have a set of parallel lines, the lines can be cut by a third line, which we call a transversal. And when that transversal cuts those parallel lines, we get all sorts of angles that are made all around here. And some of those angles are equal. There are three different rules that we are going to learn about that tell us equal angles, or in one of the cases, angles that add to 180 on those parallel lines. So let's start with the first rule. The first rule is called corresponding angles. Now, corresponding angles are equal. To find them on your parallel lines and with your transversal, they will make an F shape. So to show you that in a diagram, draw yourself some parallel lines. Put the little arrows on there, which means they're parallel. And we cut the parallel lines with a transversal. Now, if I were to draw on there this angle and this angle, if I join those two angles up, you would see that they make an F shape. The angles that I'm actually talking about is this one, so the arms surrounded that one. That was the first angle that I drew. And the second angle, the arms go around this angle here. So that F shape means that those two angles that I've drawn with dots are equal. The second rule that we're going to learn about is alternate angles. These angles are also equal and they make a Z shape on your parallel lines. So let's draw another set of parallel lines over here, cutting it with a transversal. And this time I'm going to talk about this angle here. So I'm drawing the arms of the angle on there, which is referring to that angle. Then I'm going to draw a backwards angle here, the arms on there, talking about that angle. And connecting those arms together, we get a Z shape. And those angles marked with the dots are equal. The final type that we're going to learn about is called co-interior angles. These angles add to 180 degrees. They are not equal. They make a C shape. On the parallel lines, cut with a transversal, that would be this angle, which I'll mark with a dot, and this angle, which I'm not going to use a dot, I'm going to use a little cross because they're not equal, so we have to use different symbol in there. But those two angles would add to give 180 degrees. Now I have drawn an F, a Z, and a C on each of those parallel lines there, but they don't always have to be orientated that way. The F shape can be back to front, it can be upside down and back to front. We can rotate that F shape around and they are still called corresponding angles. Same with the alternate angles and the co-interior angles. We can reflect those shapes, okay? So, first of all, before we start trying to find any pronumerals, we want to just practice identifying the different types of angles. So we're going to start with corresponding angles. Example 1 here says, mark the corresponding angles. Now we have three different sets of parallel lines here to practice doing it in different ways. So first of all, I could draw my F shape, because corresponding, remember, is the F shape if you look at your table above. I could draw an F on there. Okay, that would mean that this angle and this angle would be the same. You need to actually show the angles. The F shape is just to help you. You need to actually show where the angles are that are equal. All right, now I don't want to draw the same ones on each of the three diagrams. I want to turn that F shape around. How about I draw it backwards? So So my F shape could go that way, which means that that angle and that angle would also be corresponding. I could turn my F shape upside down and I would get this, meaning that that angle and that angle are equal and they are corresponding. You could also flip that. It could actually have a fourth way and reverse that one as well. Part B, we now want to mark some alternate angles on the parallel lines. So there's only two ways that this can go. I could have my Z like that, which means the alternate angle would be that one with that one. Or I could reverse my Z shape going that way, and that angle would be equal to that angle. There is not a third option. You could just draw one of them again if you'd like to for practice. There's only two ways that you can reflect that Z shape, move that Z shape around. So there it is again, same as the first one. Part C, we now want to do the co-interior angle, which the diagrams are on the next page. Co-interior angles make a C shape like that, and they add to 180. So we have to use different symbols in our angle. So I'll put a dot in this one and an arc in that one. They are co-interior. I can draw my C shape backwards, and that angle and that angle would be co-interior. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the idea of what I mean by the F, the Z, and the C, and how to use that to help you find corresponding alternate and co-interior angles. Because example number 2, we now want to state whether the following pairs of angles are corresponding alternate or co-interior. We need to pick which one of the three is being shown in the diagram. So what I would suggest you do for this type of question is draw the arms on the angles that you're talking about. So A, the arms of A would be those two. B, the arms of B would be those ones. And what shape have I made? Well, it's a little bit twisted around, but I've made the Z shape, which is called alternate angles. So I'm just going to write the word alternate. We're not writing full reasons yet because we're not doing full-on solves here. We're just trying to name it. Those are alternate angles. Don't ever write F, Z, or C as your reason. They are just shapes to help you. Okay, part B, draw the arms around the A and draw the arms around the Z, the B, sorry, which makes a Z. You can see that Z shape very clearly, which is alternate angles again. All right, part C, draw the arms around the A, draw the arms around the B, make sure you connect them together. It's tilted sideways, but that is making a C shape, so they are called co-interior angles. The part D, we want to draw the arms around the A and the arms around the B. We'll need to connect them together. That is making a backwards F shape, which is called corresponding. Part E, draw the arms around the A, the arms around the B, join them together. Again, it's an F shape, it's upside down, but that is also corresponding. And for F, we have got arms around A, arms around B. That makes a sideways C shape, which is our co-interior angles. All right, example number 3. We want to find the value of the pronumeral giving reasons. This is what the majority of your questions will be like. So we want to work out whether it's corresponding, alternate, or co-interior, and find the value of the pronumeral. So we can draw the arms around the two angles that we've got. So arms around the theta, arms around the 140, and that is making an F shape. They are called corresponding angles, and we know that they are equal. So all I need to do is say that theta is equal to 140 degrees because corresponding angles are equal. That's how you need to write that reason down. Part B, draw the arms around the A, draw the arms around the 130, connect them up. That is also an F shape, which means corresponding angles, and they're equal again. So A is equal to 130 degrees because corresponding angles are equal. Part C, draw the arms around the theta, the arms around the 132. That is making a sideways C shape, which is our co-interior angles. These ones add to 180 degrees, so I want to make a little equation. Theta plus 132 degrees is equal to 180. Okay, that writing the reason down, that's co-interior angles equal 180 degrees. Sorry for that little interruption. Okay, so to solve that equation, I need to subtract the 132. So theta equals 180 minus 132, which is 48 degrees. Okay, so it's the co-interior angles that take a little bit more working out. Part D, draw the arms around the angle, around the A and around the 120. That is forming a sideways Z shape. So that means that A is equal to 120 degrees because they're the alternate angles, and those angles are equal. Write the reason in brackets. Alternate, we shorten that to ALT. Alternate angles are equal. Part E, this 110 should be this angle over here, and the A over there is making another Z shape. So those angles are alternate and they're equal as well. So A equals 110 degrees because alternate, which is alt for short, angles are equal. F, draw the arms. You need lots of practice so you get the hang of this. Draw the arms around there. We're making a C shape. That means they add to 180. These are the co-interior angles. So A plus 115 degrees equals 180 because co-interior angles equal 180 degrees. Okay, I have to still solve that equation for A, so I'll subtract the 115, and that means that A equals 180 minus 115, which equals 65 degrees. And G on the next page. Finding A, draw the arms around there. We've got a C shape, which means co-interior again. So they add to 180. The A plus the 64 is equal to 180 degrees. Write the reason down. Co-interior, which we shorten to co-int. Co-interior angles equal 180 degrees. Solve the equation. Subtract the 64. We type in 180 minus 64, and that's equal to 116 degrees. Okay, we've done quite a few of these questions. We have one more type here to look at. Example number 4. It says, giving reasons, state whether the two lines cut by the transversal are parallel. Now, you will see that there are numbers. There's no pronumerals in here. We want to use the numbers to say if it fits one of our three rules and that it obeys the rule. So, for example, if I draw the arms around the 59 degrees and I draw the arms around the 58 degrees, those two angles are making an F shape, okay, which is corresponding. Now, those angles, if the lines are parallel, would have to be equal because corresponding angles should be equal, but they're not. It says that one is 59 and one is 58. Okay, so that means the lines are not parallel. So I would write here, not parallel. And the reason is because the corresponding angles are not equal. Okay, they should be equal if they are parallel. Let's try that again for B. If I draw the arms on there, I have 81 there and another 81 there, making a sideways Z shape. That's alternate angles. They should be equal. And they are. They are 81 and 81. Okay? So that means that yes, these lines are parallel. So I'm just going to say they are parallel because the alternate angles are equal. Okay, you'll notice that I'm not putting these in brackets. You could put them in brackets if you wanted to. These aren't the same kinds of questions as the last ones where we use the brackets. One more question to do. I have got arms around the 100, arms around the 60, and they make a C shape. So those angles should add to 180 degrees. Do they? All right, 100 plus 60 only makes 160 degrees. Okay, so it means that they are not parallel. So not parallel because the co-interior angles do not add to 180 degrees as they should. All right, it's been a lot of examples, but time for you to do some practice for yourself.